r/AskReddit asks. If you won the lottery, $300 million after taxes, what wouldn't you do? Tell it to everyone you know. I wouldn't tell it to anyone if I could get away with it. Talk about it. Additionally, I wouldn't buy some enormous house. I'd basically live to write about the same standard I do now, just without having to go to work, and set up a woodworking shop to make furniture. This is spot on. My parents are pretty damn wealthy but have been driving the same cars for the last 15 plus years. The house they live in is nice inside, but very plain and generic on the outside. Nobody would know how well off they are if they met them. Of course our relatives do know, and they have tried to take advantage in the past. I don't know why people like to advertise how much shit they have, it's just asking for trouble emo. Sick publicity. If I remember right, a lot of states have laws now that make it possible for lottery winners to claim it anonymously. As it should be. I get that the lottery wanted to be transparent, but it's too risky for winners. So many of them have gotten killed in home invasions or are just outright murdered by loved ones. And that's the worst case scenario. Let alone every person you've ever met contacting you with their sob story, trying to get some money. Unfortunately, Missouri does not let you claim it anonymously. They plaster your picture on the Molotto website and local paper follow that stuff. I would move the day after the check cleared the bank. I would not buy any kind of boats. Boats are such good investments. Said no one, ever. Give money to my cousin. And #X200B, I'd give money to my parents, best friends, and former bosses, and even go the extra mile to give my cousin's ex $10,000 as a fuck you to my cousin. I'd give my cousin's friends money just to abandon him and ghost him. And #X200B, because I could afford to be that petty, that's why. He's an entitled, arrogant, disrespectful egotistical megalomaniac that pretended to be my friend so he can leech off of my belongings, and used my connection and status at work to move up in my professional line of work. Then suddenly began treating me like garbage once I started cutting him off of my belongings after he crossed a line. And #X200B, I know it would hurt him in the deepest way imaginable, and it would be worth the $100,000 or so I'd spend. I wouldn't blow it all on hookers. Too many lottery winners do that. If you throw it all on hookers you'll have no money left for blow, which is an essential part of hookers and blow. Stop my education. I'd take one class per term, every term, for the rest of my life. Even if eventually it's underwater basket weaving. And I could push back against some of the college lunacy because GPA be damned. I would tell nobody buy citizenship in several countries. Buy small apartments in several places. Get hair extensions. Legally change my name. Have a house with a solarium filled with rare reptiles. Stop going to work. I can't just stay at home and do nothing. I wouldn't want to work, but I'd want to keep my mind and self active learning new things. Learn how to produce music, learn how to work wood, learn how to code/program. Learn a foreign language, etc. Well, I certainly wouldn't tell no one. I wouldn't try to turn it into $1 billion through investments while continuing to work my normal job. I wouldn't then take the $1 billion and use it to create a highly contagious novel supervirus which mimics a mild flu, has a 2-month incubation period, and gradually leads to the infected person's death. Yes, I definitely wouldn't do any of this. You don't need $1 billion to create a super virus, you can do it with about 20 millions if you have the molecular biology expertise for that. I don't really need a fancy car. My current car is fine. I would take it to one of those fancy full-service car washes, though. I wouldn't turn in the winning ticket without creating a nameless trust first so I can cash it anonymously. You probably wanted to create 2 trusts. One to claim the ticket and the second to be named on the first trust as the recipient of the funds. The first trust only has the authority to claim the winnings and then immediately transfer the proceeds to the second trust. The first trust document, likely, has to be turned over to the lotto officials and you don't want it to identify you. The second trust document can identify you as the trustee/beneficiary because it would only be referenced by name. As others have noted, many states require you to identify yourself and or appear at the announcement. Stay in this town. Not sure where I'd go, but somewhere with a Target and not just a Walmart. I know, dreaming big. 1. Tell everyone I know to. Buy a bunch of fancy cars, what's the point? 3. Work another day in my life. 4. Stay in the same city/country forever. I would be taking lots of vacations. I wouldn't promise anyone money. I can't find it now, but there's that one comment on how winning huge lotteries can and will ruin your life if you aren't extremely cautious and careful with it. Seriously, greed can cloud and corrupt even the nicest of relatives and friends. I wouldn't have more than $10,000 deposited at any North American bank. It would be all nicely stuffed under my pillow, invested in land, forests, farms and animals, private racetracks, private charity organization. All in practical circulation. No banks. I'd also rack up all my lines of credit, and not pay those back. I would never give even a nickel of it to family and friends who never were there for me before winning. I would just tell them that they need to go earn their fortune, just like I did, and send them on their way. Yes, I know how this sounds. Yes, that is the point. I wouldn't brag about it to pretty much anyone, and I definitely would not work a single day longer at my current job. I'd still work, but I would find something much more fulfilling without any regard for salary. Buy an exotic supercar, a nice used 911 will be fine. I think sometimes people forget that $1 million car also comes with expensive parts and labor not many people account for. I wouldn't quit my job. I love what I do, it's stable, a solid Union State job with a pension and great benefits. If I won a crazy lottery like that, I'd mostly take care of some wants/needs I've got, paying off my student loans, buying a new house, but I'm very content with my life as it is. That much money would just make it easier to do what I want without worrying about financial repercussions.